Same thing with us. There are more times when I'm really needs me to be detailed. It's very low hours, like I worked on last year.
If you know the theme for tonight, it says Night Out for Equality. When you think about the progress we should make, the progress, I believe, is within sight. And the goal clearly is not simply a night out for equality, but every day for equality. 365 days a year, 12 months a year, 7 days a week. But that does not come easy. There's still challenges ahead. I am delighted to see so many elected officials here. It's good to see so many here. But it's also sad because the bulk of what you heard, although we are in Montgomery County, but the bulk of the elected officials that you heard the names called were from Montgomery County. The question is, how do we maintain and ensure that we have the same level of response all over the state of Maryland? And when we do that, we are sure that we're going to have equality. And how do we start that?
So, it's another great honor for me to introduce the next person. I personally was thrilled when Congressman Van Hollen was elected several years ago because it meant that we had another incredibly good friend of the gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender community in Congress. We know that because when he was in the state Senate, Congressman Van Hollen was the floor leader in the Anti-Discrimination, passing the Anti-Discrimination Act on the Senate floor of the Senate in Annapolis. So it's an incredible honor to welcome Congressman Van Hollen to the table, to the United States.
The American people wanted to change the direction, and I can tell you, when you took a house that was led by Tom DeLay and Denny Hastert to a house that is now led by Speaker Nancy Pelosi, that is a change of direction. And I hope the last election at the national level was a strong signal that we want to move from a politics of fear to a politics of hope, and from a politics of hate and division to one of tolerance and unity. And that is what we're working on in the United States Congress under Speaker Pelosi's leadership. You know, we spent many years trying to stop bad things from happening. We spent many years trying to prevent intolerant people from trying to write discrimination into the United States Constitution. And I can tell you on our watch, you're not going to write discrimination against gay marriage into the United States Constitution. In fact, instead of having to spend all our time trying to prevent bad things from happening, we move forward in the House to try and move forward on a positive agenda. And I'm very pleased to report, as you know, in the last couple of weeks, we did pass a hate crimes bill, the Matthew Shepard hate crimes legislation. We say at the national level, we will not tolerate crimes based on sexual orientation or gender identity. And that we understand that when a crime is committed based on bigotry and prejudice, it's a crime designed to terrorize an entire community. And we need to say, no, 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 we will not tolerate that kind of thing ever here in the United States, and send a very strong message. I hope we will move on from that to pass at the federal level what has been done in Maryland already, which is the Employment Non-Discrimination Act. In Maryland, as you know, we passed a very broad piece of legislation, and many of my colleagues here in the room worked very hard on that. Senator Roosevelt, Rich Madalino, and so many others in the room who came together to get that done in Maryland. We need to do it at the federal level so that every person, whether you live in Maryland or on the West Coast or the South or the North, you are protected against employment discrimination based on sexual orientation or gender identity. We need to move forward on a piece of that. Employment in the military. It is time to end this silly, don't ask, don't tell policy. And I wonder about some people who are more interested in protecting intolerance than they are in protecting the national security of this country. And we need to change that. We need to move forward and fully expand the opportunities and access to some of the new drugs that are now coming on that better help people deal with HIV/AIDS and continue to fight a cure to HIV/AIDS. Thank Justice Thurgood Marshall as you head into the State Assembly and the Capitol building in Annapolis. And those words are very simple, but they set forth the standard that we must apply to all Americans, and that is equal justice under law. That must be our charge.